let's have a nice cup of TRE in the afternoon with Hannah Murray.
Joining us on the line now is me old chum, Ian Rutter. He recently played host to Amanda Holden and Alan Carr in their new TV show, Amanda and Alan's Spanish Job, which actually starts on telly in a couple of days. How are you, Ian?
I'm very well, thanks, Hannah. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's lovely to have you with us. And what an exciting story this is, and quite a long journey it's been, going back to 2023.
Yes, these things take quite a while to come to fruition. So we have been working on it for, a long time.
So tell us how it all happened, because the TV company reached out to you because they read an article, didn't they?
Yes, so in February 2023, we were featured in an article in the Daily Telegraph in the UK, and it was an article about rural depopulation and what companies like us were doing to try to stem the tide of rural depopulation in rural inland Andalucia. And as a result of that article, we were contacted by a researcher from the production company, and that's really how it started. We're contacted every now and again by TV companies. As you can imagine, there are lots of house hunting programs that tend to come to southern Spain. And we are fairly choosy about who we engage with or whether it's a right fit for what we do here. And this particular proposition was very interesting.
Yeah. So what was the proposition then? What were they looking for? What were they wanting to achieve?
Interestingly, I had not seen this program before. So it was called, after the first series, it was called Amanda and Alan's Italian Job, with the pun Italian Job after the film. And I hadn't watched it, but when I got talking to the production company, and one of the central themes within the program is this idea of depopulation. So the program started, actually, it was a lockdown project that Amanda Holden thought of, which was buying one of these €1 houses in Italy, in villages that had been abandoned or where properties had been abandoned. And it's a scheme to try to get people to invest in these communities and inject real sustainable life in these abandoned villages. So because that's one of our philosophies here is trying to get people to understand that if you're moving to a rural inland Spanish village, that comes with a degree of responsibility, and that you are contributing to the local economy, you're contributing to the life. And, many of these villages, like Moclin, which is where we live, is in danger of dying out. I mean, that sounds very dramatic. But when you consider, 100 years ago, the population here was 1,000 people. Prior to that, it was up to 1,500 people in this one village. And over the decades, older people die out, young people have to leave these villages and go and find work and in the cities. And, the population here is now down to just around 200 people. So it's a very dramatic drop in population numbers. So, of course, as soon as they started talking about depopulation, which is dear to our heart, we immediately got interested.
Amazing. So the project didn't actually happen until January 24, when they kind of came out to Spain and it was all starting to happen, because they did another series in Italy, didn't they?
Yes, they did. So in February 2023, they did come out for a recce out here, and we got very excited, obviously, and we showed a couple of properties, and we tried to make the village look vibrant and welcoming, and which is not that hard, but we did sort of spread the red carpet a little bit to welcome the producers here. And then we found out that they had decided to film the second series in Italy as well. So the first series was filmed in Sicily, and the second series was filmed in Tuscany. And really, throughout 2023, I thought nothing more of it. I thought, okay, well, they filmed the second series in Italy. That's it. So it was a real surprise when in January 2024, we heard from the producers again and said, look, we are looking to do a third series. It hadn't been commissioned, but we're looking at doing a third series, and we would like to do it in Spain. So we want to come out again and have a look around and see what's available. And we had to go through this this process all over again, because they were doing recce's in Catalonia, in Portugal as well, and in other parts of Andalucia. So it did feel a little bit like a competition, because I was so keen to get it to our village and to Granada province, for so many reasons. And we had the backing of the local town hall, and the villagers were quite excited about this, although we hadn't discussed too much about it at the time. But we sort of let them know what was happening and why these visitors were coming to the village. So there was a degree of competitiveness, because I was very keen to encourage them to come and film here.
Yeah, because you have a great little setup there. You're obviously close to a lot of the villagers and your neighbours. I see little videos you put up of everyone in the street dancing and drinking and having a party. You've obviously really, really made your mark there and found your home and your place and your people. It's great.
Yes, I mean, I think we have, because we have done our best to integrate here, and I was elected as a councillor for tourism and heritage as well. And I think when we set up our businesses, I don't think we thought too hard about it, but what we really, really wanted to do was make sure that the village benefited in some way from the businesses that we pursued. So running creative and cultural courses here, for example, we wanted to make sure that villagers never felt left out and that they were included in what we were doing. So we have, ever since we moved here, we've had the buy-in from the villagers, and they've seen what we want to try to do to get sustainable cultural tourism in the village, because they can see that there are opportunities on the back of that. There are opportunities for employment and investment and various aspects to life like that will do nothing but improve the life of the villagers. So we sort of embraced this project with a weight of responsibility, because we had to try to manage it. We had to manage the expectations of the villagers. We had to manage the expectations of the production company. And as we went down the line, obviously making sure that they had a really, really lovely time here, because if they all enjoyed the process of filming in Moclin, then that was going to come across on screen.
Yeah.
So there was quite a lot that went into it. And when we finally heard that they had selected Moclin as the star of the program, if you like, after the presenters, it was, A, we were very, very excited, but B, we were also quite stressed that we think, oh my God, we've got this responsibility. We really, really have to make this work.
So at what point there's obviously a lot that happened behind the scenes, but at what point did you meet Amanda and Alan, and how did it all start to take shape, the TV show?
So Amanda and Alan, I mean, I can't talk too much about the process. I mean, that will be unveiled as the series goes on throughout
Yes.
the 8 episodes of the program. So I don't really want to give too much away. But I mean, the Alan and Amanda come out, they came out at the end of April to film throughout the summer. But up to that point, there was a lot of work that needed to be done. Obviously, the production company had to buy the property that was going to be restored. We sold them the house. And then we had to go through the whole planning application process. So that in essence, everything had to be lined up for Alan and Amanda's arrival here, so that filming could start straight away on the restoration of the property. So you can imagine how complicated and tight in terms of timescales that was, that we had to go through those processes. And we're very lucky that we had the support of the town hall and the planners here. And, we involved them really from the outset in February, where we sat down and explained how this project would work and why we, need to really get planning application submitted as soon as we possibly could. And we needed all their help that they could provide. So fortunately, we did have a very good team, and we were able to get everything set up prior to filming.
Yeah. And did you have any kind of preconceived ideas about Amanda and Alan? I mean, were you fans or anything, or did you not really know what to expect?
Fans. I mean, obviously I knew of them. I used to be a great fan of Alan's chat program, Chatty Man.
Yes.
Years ago. And we obviously, when we first started talking about this program, we did go back and we watched the 2 series of The Italian Job. And I love the relationship that they have. I think one of the special characteristics of the program is that they bond very, very well. And they're naturally very funny people, particularly when they're together and they bounce off each other. And the other elements of the program that were very attractive was that it is part travelogue, it is part restoration program, and it does rely an awful lot on that chemistry between the two presenters. And I've seen this done in other programs as well, where they've tried to replicate this. And it doesn't work very well. So there's something sometimes that is quite contrived about it. The chat doesn't seem very natural, whereas with Alan and Amanda, what you see on screen is what you get. I mean, they are very natural. They click into it. They can chat about any topic, and they genuinely love what they're doing. So I think having watched the 2 series of Italy, we knew what to expect, and that sort of, I suppose, gave us courage of our convictions that this was the right program to bring here, and it was going to really benefit not only Moclin, but Granada province as a whole, and they filmed across Andalusia. So in terms of the exposure, that was really important. And I think it's one of those programs that works really well in January and February when the weather can be gloomy and depressing and everybody's feeling down in the dumps, and yet you get this real burst of sunshine and joy. And the film crew are very, very good at making the areas in which they film look spectacular, and Andalusia looks beautiful.
Yeah. Oh, that's great to hear. I bet they felt, both the production company and Amanda and Alan felt like they'd struck gold meeting you guys, who were so so well connected and passionate about the village and also architecture and property, and you knew exactly what you were doing. They were probably thinking, "Carr, wish everyone was like these guys."
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, Amanda did start calling us the 4th emergency service because we tended to be on hand whenever anything needed to be done. We were normally there. I mean, the production crew is very experienced at this type of program, so their researchers really know their stuff, and they spend a long time looking at suitable locations and where they're going to film, and the sort of suppliers and local companies with whom they could work for this type of program, because obviously there had to be a degree of rapport, chemistry. It didn't matter if the companies, didn't speak English, but there had to be that sort of that possibility of getting a bit of humor out of it, showing something really special, and all the time referring back to the property that they were restoring. So their travels around Andalusia are obviously sourcing materials, sourcing inspiration, and then injecting all of that into this property. So it's a sort of evolution throughout the filming process that they start taking elements that they found in Andalusia and putting them in the property. So it's a lovely process to see.
Yeah.
It highlights lots of hidden corners of Andalusia that we know and find magical, but to be honest, the world outside Andalusia has probably never heard of some of these places. So, I think we were just really pleased that we could help and offer up the odd suggestion, and just make I think of paramount importance to us was that they just enjoyed the process of being here.
Yeah. And it's nice for viewers at home in the UK or wherever they're watching from, even viewers in Spain, to see some of these different areas of the country and of Andalusia. So many people who don't know Spain well will hear Spain and they'll just think of Marbella or Alicante or Barcelona, some of the coastal towns and cities that are famous, and might judge the whole of Spain on one experience of going on a package holiday to Benalmádena potentially, without understanding and realizing that there's so much more to the country, but also to specific areas like Andalusia. There's so much to explore that even people who live here may not have done.
I think you're right. I mean, when I first came to Spain, oh God, it must be about 30 years ago. And I had never, ever had a desire to come to Spain, because my preconceptions were that it was sort of 1970s Benidorm, Torremolinos, package tour holidays, and I just thought, I really don't want to go to those places. And I had to come out here for work. And I remember flying to Gibraltar, and we were going up to Galcin in the Serenia de Ronda, so sort of above Malaga. And I remember driving out of La Linea just thinking, oh my God, this is a bit grim. You know, that sort of area when you come out of Gibraltar is not the most beautiful.
Yeah.
But then within sort of 20 minutes, suddenly we went off the motorway and we were up in the mountains, and I immediately fell in love with Spain. I just remember thinking, oh God, this is amazing. The landscape's gone forever. The sky is huge. There are just mountains everywhere. There's forests. And I've loved it ever since that first visit. But without having to come here for work, I might never have discovered inland Spain. And, you know, okay, Sevilla and Cordoba and Malaga do get quite a lot of press publicity, but Granada province is almost a bit like the sort of third cousin down the line. And not many people know it that well. And there are some amazing areas in Granada province. You know, the Sierra Nevada obviously is fairly well known, but if you look at the geopark in Gorafe and the Costa Tropical, which is so much quieter than the busy areas of the Costa del Sol, it is such a spectacular area. And so little known. And I think this program is going to shine a very favourable light on some of these lesser known corners.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait to see it. And it's made me realise that we still haven't come up and seen you in Moclin yet. So
I know.
we must do that.
Remiss of you. You know you've got an open invitation. You can come whenever you like.
Thank you so much. I'd love to do that this year. Let's get it in the diary. And presumably inland, where you are weather-wise, is it fair to say that you have colder winters and warmer summers? Does that kind of stand where you are? I know it's like that in Seville and places.
Yes. I'm not going to deny that the winters can be chilly. However, I love winter here. I love the fact that the days really are crystal clear, blue skies, there's sunshine. But you know when the sun sets, it's going to be cold. So you just have to be prepared for that. And you light a wood burner and you hunker down with a book. And I love it. It gives us a chance to do, you know, things that we don't normally do in the summer. And I don't feel guilty about sitting in front of the wood burner with a book, eating a bit of a chocolate in the winter. I would in the summer, but, you know, in the winter it's fine. In the summer, yes, it is slightly hotter. However, here you don't get the humidity that you might get on the coast. So it's a dry heat. And I think the only time that we adjust is probably from mid-July to the middle of August, when you just know that from 2:00 till about 6:00, there's no point going outside. You know, you have to just close the shutters, have a snooze, and then get ready to go out in the evening. And you just adapt to that way of life. And I love that way of life because it feels like 3 days in one, because you have you can do all your business in the morning, you have a guilt-free rest in the afternoon, and then you hit Granada at night and go out for tapas and drinks and, you know, and then it starts all over again. So it works very well for us.
Sounds perfect. So if people want to have a look at your blog, because I know you're doing a blog throughout this process that people can, which you're releasing as and when the programs come out, where do people go for that?
It's twoSouthOfGranada.com. All written words, twoSouthOfGranada.com. And yes, it's a 10-part blog. And we'll be releasing a post pretty much every week that it doesn't talk about the process of the program, but it sort of outlines why we did it, why we became involved, what the highlights were for us. I mean, when we started this, we never intended to be in the program. We do happen to appear a couple of times in it, but that wasn't our intention. We didn't sort of think, oh God, let's do this because we can suddenly become film stars.
Yeah.
We did it because we wanted to highlight rural depopulation, and we felt that this program was a really lovely mix of all the things we wanted to do to promote sustainable, carefully managed cultural tourism in inland Granada province.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. I can't wait to see. So twoSouthOfGranada.com is the website, and the program is called Amanda and Alan's Spanish Job, and it starts in 2 days, isn't it? Friday?
It does. It starts on Friday. It starts on Friday. We're actually whizzing over to London tomorrow to go to the screening, the official screening on Friday.
Brilliant!
And then we're whizzing back here Saturday morning because we're then doing a screening in Moclin for the villagers, because the villagers were they were integral to the filming, and Moclin obviously is the focal point of the program, because this is where the house was restored. And the villagers appear in quite a few of the episodes. So it was important for us that we put on a screening for them. So we're showing 4 episodes a night for 2 nights, the moment we get back, so that they can see how the village has been portrayed on screen.
Oh, exciting. I bet they're all really looking forward to it.
Oh, God, I hope they are. I think they are looking forward to it. Well, and I just hope they love it. That's the most important thing for us. I hope they love it.
Yeah. Oh, great stuff. Well, it's been lovely catching up with you, Ian Rutter. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you in Moclin this year.
Oh, thanks, Hannah. Yes, do come on the tourist trail. Come and see where Alan and Amanda film. But no, just come for a break with us, and we can have a good old chat.
That will be lovely. That would be lovely. Thank you so much. And you take care, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Hannah. Bye.
Bye.